I'm against an elected mayor, but I'm also against quite a lot of other things as well. So here we go. Why am I against an elected mayor? Reason one, simple. Money. Whose money is it? It's your money and it's my money, and it's not their money. But they seem to think it's their money, the politicians, the bureaucrats, and it's just not. Have you ever seen an additional layer of government cost less money, ever, in this country? Because I certainly haven't. And there's two aspects of money. The first is the operating costs. And you say, right, okay, let's look at an example. The leader of Hartlepool Council drew £3,400 a year. The next day, the mayor drew £63,000. Now, lawyers aren't very good with numbers, but I figured that one out. But it's not just that. It's not just the cost that the mayor's going to draw out himself. There's the inevitable. I want a PA, I want a researcher, I want a marketing manager, I want somebody that's going to help me and go and publicise and try and get me to win the next election as well. That's what they do. From the minute they're elected, they're planning their next re-election. The second bit about money that I really object to is what I'd call the setup costs. I mean, there's bound to be lots of administration and internal costs anyway, but just the cost of holding a referendum on this barking mad idea. So far, 37 referenda in the country. 25 have said no. Huntingdon reckons the cost of a referendum is 125,000 quid for them. That times 25, great. That's our money that's been wasted, that should have been spent elsewhere. Of the other 12 where you've got them, you've got tremendous candidates like the monkey mayor of Hartlepool. You've also got the mayor of Stoke, who was bailed for corruption. And you've got the Lewisham mayor, who I think was thrown out of Tower Hamlets by his colleagues for being a radical. And that then takes me to issue number 2, which is the person. Because, trust me, you will get the wrong person. He will not be the right person, or she will not be the right person. The business community thinks, we know who we want. We want someone like Sir John Harvey-Jones. We want someone that's going to go out there, be a big, charismatic figure, that's going to improve the city, have a vision for the next 30 years. What does democracy deliver? Democracy delivers populist votes, often by small minority groups like the EDF or whatever they call themselves in my hometown, Doncaster. That makes me so proud. Can you imagine a mayor in this city standing on a platform of, I've got a 30-year strategy to make this city the biggest and the best city in the East Midlands, and it's going to have long-term economic, coherent, thoughtful policies. Is that going to get you elected in Leicester? Not a chance. Forget it. Who are we going to get? Ben Jackson, if we're lucky, Martin Johnson, Willie Thorne. That's the kind of character we're going to get. Who do they get in Hartlepool? The monkey mayor. Who do they get in Doncaster? Some wacky radical. Allegedly, I say, because I'm a lawyer. Who do they get in, this is America, not England, of course, but who do they get in Tracy City, Tennessee? Well, the people there are so stupid, they elected a dead mayor. He died 4 weeks previously, but they still liked him better than the incumbent, so they elected him. That's how people think. I can imagine it now. Zombie mayor for Leicester. Go. Fantastic. But that then takes me to my third point, which is added value, or lack of added value. I mean, what needs to be delivered locally? Schools, education, colleges, social services, transport planning, a bit of other stuff. Where's the discretionary bit of that? It's very, very, very tiny. Why do we actually need elected people to deliver that? Most of the time, they're told what they have to do and how they have to do it by central government. What is this democracy thing about anyway? What's the point of spending money on creating institutions just so that you're told how you have to spend the money? What does Leicester need? I'll tell you what Leicester needs and what Leicester has needed. It's needed someone with a vision, with a helicopter view to say, what's wrong with this city? What's wrong is that there's been a mass exodus of business down to Meridian and Grove Park. 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 odd jobs. Can you imagine how much healthier the city would have been if those jobs were here? You need someone who's going to be brave enough to be able to make those decisions and to do what is necessary to keep jobs in the city centre. Because that's how you get rid of deprivation. You create jobs by making business stimulated at the top. The jobs are created, people come out of deprivation, that provides more tax dollar for the local councils, etc. That's what you want. But that's not what you're going to get under a mayoral system or under the current system, I'm sorry to say. There is something else that you need, and I'll come to that in just a moment. There's something else that you need is... is the problem that we've got, and there is a problem with democracy. Democracy has delivered from 1987 to 2003 on Leicester City Council, out of 54 councillors, one person who was a company director. One person who actually might have had the chance or the time to think about what's going on in the business community, which is where the jobs are created, which is where people get brought out of deprivation. That's appalling. And it is a fault of business, but it's also a fault of the system. And even now, we're coming forward with new strategies. But every time the public sector gets involved, the new economic partnership, guys, I'm sorry, you worked very hard on it. It's got something like 7 key objectives and 49 themes. Can you imagine a business succeeding if it had to grapple with all those issues? It's barking mad. I don't think democracy works at all. We need something brand new. We need something brand new. What we need is probably a group of aldermen, or older women, or whatever you'd call them, appointed to run a local area, to make the tough decisions. If the market needs to be moved, then move it. If you need a new dual carriageway so businesses can get their customers and their products in and out from the M1, then jolly well do it. I almost said something harder than jolly jolly then. But, just in case I haven't convinced you that democracy is bad, then I will be a reasonable man. I will make a concession to you. And I will agree to a degree of democracy, but it's subject to one condition. A fundamental principle of modern democracy, 1763, no taxation without representation. The business community represents about 20% of local taxes, probably more when you look at indirect taxes that come through from central grants. Great, give us 20% of the votes. Then you'll get some real business people involved. They won't have to pander to silly party politics. They'll be looking at long-term issues and long-term development of the city. That's real democracy. So, typical lawyers kind of comment, but I urge you all to think when there is the vote later today, those 4 key things. A mayor for Leicester will cost you more money, will not be the right person, will not add any real value, and I'm sorry, but democracy is bad for all of us.